If you've ever hiked the Appalachian Mountains, you've probably heard the rule. If you hear something calling your name, no you didn't. If you see something in the trees, keep walking. And if something is watching you, don't let it know you've noticed, because out there, you're not the only one on the trail. The Appalachian Mountains are over 2,000 miles of forest, old forest, the kind that doesn't care if you come back. People hike them every year, camp in them, disappear in them, and the deeper you go, the quieter it gets. Not peaceful quiet. The kind of quiet that feels like something is wrong. These are true Appalachian horror stories from people who went into those mountains and realized something was already there. Story 1. The man who wasn't on the trail. 3 days in, hadn't seen another soul in hours, and something felt wrong. I was hiking a section of the Appalachian Trail in North Carolina. It was a solo trip. About 3 days in, I hadn't seen anyone in hours. That's not unusual, but something felt off that day. Around late afternoon, I came around a bend and saw a man standing just off the trail. He wasn't hiking, he wasn't moving, just standing there, facing away from me. I said, "Hey," nothing. Didn't react, didn't turn. I got closer and said it again. Still nothing. That's when I noticed something strange. He wasn't wearing hiking gear, no backpack, no water, just old clothes, dirty, like he'd been out there a long time. I didn't like it, but I kept walking. As I passed him, I glanced over, and that's when he turned his head, slowly, too slowly, and the way he looked at me didn't feel right. Not curious, not surprised, just aware, like he had been waiting. I picked up my pace, didn't look back. I kept walking, counted my breaths, tried to shake it. Then, from behind me, footsteps, matching mine, same rhythm, same pace. I stopped. They stopped. I started again. They started again. I turned around, no one there. Trail completely empty. But I could still hear it, just off the trail, moving with me. I didn't stop. The sound kept pace with me for another 20 minutes, then nothing. Just the wind. I didn't trust it. I didn't stop again until I reached the next shelter. And when I told another hiker about it, he just nodded and said, "Yeah, don't talk to people you see off the trail." Story 2. The campsite that was already taken. I was hiking a section of the Appalachian Trail in Georgia. Nothing crazy, just a short overnight trip. I planned to stop at one of the designated campsites about 8 miles in. It was getting dark by the time I got there, and right away, something felt off. The campsite was empty, but it didn't look abandoned. There was a fire pit with fresh ash in it, still warm, like someone had been there recently, but there was no one around. No tents, no gear, nothing. Just signs that someone had been there not long ago. I figured maybe they packed up and moved on before dark, so I didn't think too much of it. I set up my tent, made a small fire, and ate. The whole time, though, I had this feeling like I wasn't alone, like someone was nearby, just out of sight, watching. I kept looking into the trees, expecting to see someone step out, but nothing ever did. Eventually, I went to sleep, or at least, I tried to. Sometime in the middle of the night, I woke up. No idea why. Just that feeling again that something wasn't right. I stayed still and listened. At first, nothing. Then I heard it. Footsteps, slow, careful, moving just outside the campsite, not walking through it, circling it, like whoever it was didn't want to be seen. I thought maybe it was another hiker, lost or looking for a place to camp. So I said, "Hey." The footsteps stopped immediately. Complete silence, no response, no movement, just nothing. I waited a few seconds, then said it again. "Hey, you good?" Still nothing. That's when it hit me. If it was another hiker, they would have answered, or at least made some kind of noise. But this thing didn't want me to know it was there. I didn't unzip my tent, didn't move. I just listened. After about a minute, the footsteps started again, slow, deliberate, circling over and over for what felt like hours. Eventually, they stopped, and I didn't hear anything else. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. As soon as it got light out, I packed up and got ready to leave. That's when I noticed something that made my stomach drop. My backpack wasn't where I left it. It was about 10 feet away. Closer to the woods, the zipper was open. I had set it next to a tree before going to sleep. It looked like something had dragged it. I checked inside. Nothing was missing, but everything had been moved around, like someone had gone through it. And then I saw the ground. Footprints, bare, all around my campsite, circling it, stopping right outside my tent, and leading off into the trees, but none of them led into the campsite. Story 3, The Voice. I went camping with my cousin near the Appalachian Trail in Virginia. It was a spot we'd been going to since we were kids. Nothing remote enough to be dangerous, but far enough out that you wouldn't see many people once it got dark. We set up camp just off the trail. Small fire, 2 tents, nothing complicated. At first, everything felt normal. We talked for a while, messed around, just killing time like we always did. Eventually, things got quiet. The fire started dying down. And that's when I heard it. My name, soft, from somewhere out in the woods. I looked over at my cousin and said, "What?" He looked confused, said, "I didn't say anything." I told him I just heard him call me. He shook his head. Wasn't me. We both kind of laughed it off, figured I just misheard something. But a few minutes later, it happened again. My name, same voice, same tone. But this time, it didn't sound like it came from my cousin. It sounded like it came from farther out, from the trees. I remember feeling this weird drop in my stomach. I looked at him again. "Dude, seriously, quit." He didn't even smile, just stared at me and said, "I'm not doing that." And that's when we both heard it. My name again, but this time, it came from behind us, from the direction of the trail. We both turned at the same time. There was nothing there, just darkness, no movement, no sound. And then it said my name again, closer than it should have been, like it had moved without us hearing it. That's when my cousin stood up and said, "Don't answer it." I asked him what he meant, and he said something I still think about. If something calls your name out here, and you didn't see who said it, you don't respond. We didn't say anything after that. We just sat there listening, and it kept happening. Every few minutes, my name from a different direction each time, sometimes from the left, sometimes from behind us. Once, from somewhere way deeper in the woods, like it was moving, circling us, trying to figure out how close it could get. At one point, it sounded exactly like my cousin. Same voice, same tone. It even said my name the way he normally would. That's when I realized something. It wasn't just calling me, it was copying him, learning how he sounded. We both stood up. Neither of us said anything. We just stared into the trees. He looked at me and said, "Did you bring a voice recorder with you?" I said no, and he said, "Then why do I keep hearing myself talk?" That hit me harder than anything else, because I had heard it too. Not just my name, his voice, coming from the woods. We put the fire out right there, didn't even think about staying. We grabbed what we could and started walking back toward the trail, and the entire time it followed, still calling my name, still using his voice, getting closer, not running and not rushing, just keeping up like it knew exactly where we were going. At one point it said my name from right behind us, so close that I almost turned around. But my cousin grabbed my arm and just said, almost whispering, "Don't." We didn't stop moving until we reached the car. We got in, locked the doors, and sat there for a second. Neither of us said anything. We were just listening. Then, from the trees, right at the edge of where the light from the car barely reached, we heard it one last time, my name, perfectly clear, in my cousin's voice. But he was sitting right next to me. We never went back to that spot, and we never talked about it much after that. But every now and then, if we're out somewhere quiet, one of us will ask the other, "Did you just say something?" And the answer is always the same, "No." Story 4, The Watching. Do you feel that? We were resting near a clearing in West Virginia, but we all felt it immediately, that feeling of being watched. We brushed it off at first, but then we started noticing things, movement in the trees, not animals, too still, too deliberate. At one point, I looked up the ridge and saw something standing there, tall, not moving, just watching us. I pointed it out. The others saw it too, and then it stepped back, slowly, behind a tree, like it didn't want to be seen. We packed up immediately, left without saying much. Nobody said run, nobody had to, and the entire time we hiked out, we kept seeing shapes in the trees, following, keeping distance, never getting closer, but never leaving either. Final story, you don't leave the trail alone. I hiked a remote section of the Appalachian Trail alone. It was supposed to be a 3-day trip, nothing extreme, just something to clear my head. The first day was normal. Second day, things started to feel off. Not in a way I could explain, just quiet, too quiet. No birds, no wind, no insects, just silence. The kind of silence that makes you feel like you're being watched. I tried to ignore it, set up camp before dark, built a small fire, sat there for a while, telling myself it was nothing. Eventually I went into my tent and tried to sleep. That's when I heard it. Footsteps, slow, heavy, circling my tent, not rushing, not sneaking, just walking back and forth like whatever it was wasn't afraid of me. I froze, didn't unzip the tent, didn't move, just listened. Every few minutes it would stop, right outside the tent, close enough that I could hear it breathing, not loud, just there. Then it would start walking again. This went on for hours. At some point I must have passed out, because the next thing I remember was sunlight coming through the tent. Everything was quiet again. I got out, packed up immediately, didn't even eat. I just wanted off that trail. As I started hiking, something felt wrong again, like I wasn't alone. About 10 minutes in, I heard it. Footsteps behind me. Same pace, same rhythm. I stopped. They stopped. I started walking again. They followed. I didn't turn around. I didn't want to see it. I just kept walking. Faster, trying to put distance between me and whatever was back there. But it didn't fall behind. It stayed right there, matching me, step for step, for hours. I didn't stop, didn't rest. I just kept moving until I finally reached the trailhead. When I got to my car, I finally let myself look back. The trail was empty. Nothing there, no one, no movement. I told myself it was over, that whatever happened out there stayed out there. I went home, cleaned up, tried to forget about it. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every little sound felt wrong. The house felt off, like something didn't belong. Around 2 a.m, I heard it. Footsteps inside the house, slow, heavy, moving down the hallway. I sat up in bed and listened. They stopped right outside my door. Then something scratched against it, not trying to get in, just letting me know it was there. I didn't move, didn't breathe. After a minute, it stopped, and I didn't hear anything else for the rest of the night. In the morning, I checked the house. Every door locked, every window shut, nothing out of place, except the floor. I stopped breathing. Footprints. Dirty. Dry. Like something had tracked the trail inside. They started at the front door, moved down the hallway, and stopped right outside my room. I didn't go back to the trail. I don't hike anymore, but sometimes, late at night, when the house is quiet and I hear it again, not walking, not moving, just standing there between me and the rest of the world. And the worst part is, I know it didn't follow me home. It walked out of those woods with me. The Appalachian Mountains are some of the oldest in the world, and some people believe whatever lives out there has been there a lot longer than we have. So if you ever find yourself alone on the trail, and you get that feeling that something is watching you, you might want to trust it, because out there, you're never really alone. You have me with you, as long as you like and subscribe to Tales from the Fiend.